Good morning and welcome back to another video, and today is another day of the Zero to Gold Cap Challenge. Now just stick around and enjoy the video. Okay, so today we are going to be going over the gold for the day for the very first start of this. See, I haven't done a video of the gold for the day for quite a few days, actually, quite a lot of days. But that being the case, let's just get into the gold for the day, which is the first clean out is 200 males. Well, we have 100 males, our first load, which is a healthy 314,353 gold. The things of note that we actually sold was Vantis Runes of Nyalotha, the Waking City, 44 of those for 18,604 gold. Mechanized Chopper, we sold 2 of those for 28,481 gold respectively. Along with that, we also sold glyphs and more glyphs. The Fell Touch Souls, 5, 1,883, 1,138 for the Blazing Survivor. Also sold 136 Tomes of the Quiet Mind for 11,746 gold, along with 3 Highborn Compendiums of Sundering for 3,390 gold. And we also sold some more Vantis Runes of the Waking City of Nyalotha, which is 45,321 gold for those. The other one is another 40 Nyalotha Vantis Runes for 17,102 gold, and War Scrolls of Battle Shout, 4,313 gold, along with 50 Ghastly Goulash for 3,752 gold. Along with that, more Highborn Compendiums for the same amount, as well as a Highborn Compendium of Mystical Bulwark for 4,886 gold, and another Mystical Bulwark, another Sundering for the same amount of gold, of course, and also the Tome of Tranquil Mind, 63 of those for 5,432 gold, along with 2 more stacks of 20 Tranquil Minds for 1,724 gold. We also sold a Vial of the Sands for 39,000 gold, and we're going to see quite a few of these ones. Basically, obviously, we farmed to craft these, so pretty much all that gold is still profit, even though it's quite low. The other thing of note is Tomes of the Quiet Mind once again, 115 of those for 10,155 gold, along with more Sundering for the same amount of gold, 2 more of those. And we also sold Highborn Compendium of Storms, 3,830 gold of those. And we also sold some more Vantis Runes of Nyalotha, 6,413 gold for that. As well as Vial of the Sands, 39,906 gold again for the Vial of the Sands, bringing our total to 314,353 gold for this. This is absolutely awesome because we're about to do like some massive crafts, and that being the case, let's just pull in all of that gold right there. So that's definitely bringing us up to 500,000 gold. We have another 100 males to bring in. So yeah, not too shabby, not too bad in all. And hopefully we can pull in a lovely load more gold overall when it comes to all of that. So this is definitely well worth it in the long run. So now it's just a case of wait until this actually opens up all of our mail, and then we can then look at the next one, which is going to be quite a substantial amount, which we're just going to reload the UI just to make sure that it's actually reset, and then we can see the next 100 of these. So that being the case, let's just jump in here and open it up, which is the next clean out is 302,106 gold. The things that I've noted that I've actually sold is Vial of the Sands, again for 39,906 gold. Highborn Compendium of Storms, 1,412 gold for 2 of those. Well, each for 2 of those, because obviously they get sold each. The Ghastly Goulash, once again, 50 of those for 3,991 gold. And Turbocharged Flying Machines, which is a crafted mount for engineering. It's taken quite a while for those 2 to sell, so we're probably not going to actually recraft those, which 23,750 gold for 2 each, and we sold 2 of those, so that's not too bad. The next thing of note, we sold more Sundering, more Storms, Highborn Compendiums for roughly the same amount of gold. Sundering 1.5k, the Highborn Storms is 1.4k. so that's not too bad. The next thing of note is more Vantis Runes of Nyalotha for 12,826 gold for 30 of those, and some more Frenzied Fangtooth. We sold those because we bought too many, and that was just a resale, so we got that gold back for 2,368 gold, along with Sundering and Storms once again. Obviously we've been selling a lot of Highborn Compendiums, if you can tell. And we also sold the Kraken's Eye, 212 of those for 6,063 gold, along with the Pattern for Sunfire Robe for 4,512 gold. The other things of note is the Glyph of Feral Chameleon for 2,242 gold, along with more Storms, some more Frenzy Fangtooth, and another stack of Tome of the Tranquil Mind, 125 of those for 10,837 gold. The other things of note is 2 more Vial of the Sands for 39,906 gold, and a Dark Iron Reaver, which is a crafted piece of transmog, for 5,701 gold. We also sold another Vial of the Sands as well for 39,000 gold. And obviously we've been farming to craft, so it's still all profit. The other thing of note is the Micro Defender, which is the Draenei Micro Defender, which I bought for my Apexus crystals just to trial it out, which is 2,522 gold, along with Veiled Crystals. Basically I started disenchanting a load of stuff, and I have 84 Veiled Crystals, which sold for 8,251 gold. I was trying to test something out while I was doing my other videos, which brings our total up to a healthy 302,106 gold. So let's pull all of that in, because we're about to do another reinvestment. So yeah, this is definitely going to be, this one's going to be definitely a huge one, so to speak. So we've sold 2 Mechanized Choppers since I last saw you guys for the gold for the day, and we've sold all of our Vial of the Sands since I last saw you. So currently we are going to be sat at around about 800,000 gold, I believe, which actually brings our total to 820,805 gold. Not too shabby, pretty damn happy with that actually. So the next thing of note is to then send this over and get into the actual video. Obviously I put a link on the screen just a second ago for obvious reasons if you wanted to skip ahead, but we are recrafting 20 Vial of the Sands because I found that 10 of those sold super fast, so I have decided to make 20 of these. So in those 10 days I have been farming non-stop, and I genuinely needed to just focus and get all of these materials because it was just like a ridiculous amount. So that being the case, let's just jump over to Zathrash. So let's just send over 600,000. So 600, 1, 2, and yeah, that's not too bad. It's quite a lot of gold, and to actually send over, we're actually back down to 220,000 if we do that. Is that the rep gains are actually in this moment in time is at their bare minimum, because that's what I've been doing as well. I've been doing a lot of dailies in Uldum, and actually my rogue has gotten fairly geared. Nothing magical or anything, like 432 eye level. It's okay, it's not the best, but considering he was below 400 when we started, pretty happy just by doing some daily quests. He's adequately geared. So let's grab that 600,000 gold and let's go over what we've actually been doing. So we needed 1,440 pyrite ore, or 720 Pyrian bars. The next things of note was 2,400 volatile fire, volatile water, volatile air, 2,560 volatile life, along with 2,560 whiptail, along with 1,280 Ajara's Veil, and that is the same amount for Cinderbloom. We needed 160 albino cavefish, and we've got that, so that's not too bad. And we've actually done the potions for this, because I actually have gone into the transmutations and all that stuff. So Zathrash is now an elixir master, so whenever he crafts his potions, he has a 15 to 20% chance of procking additional potions. Essentially, if I crafted 5 Vial of the Sands worth of potions for, well, flasks for the Vial of the Sands, it's going to proc, and I can then make extra gold through that. So I've actually accounted for this. Now, the next thing of note is I actually got my other alchemist to be a transmute master, and what we're actually going to do is we're just going to bring up our alchemy. We're going to close that down because that's something else I'm working on as well. I've been very busy while you guys have been away. And now we just need to get a hold of our crystal vials, and that being the case, all we're going to have to do is just jump onto our Brutosaur and see if we can get hold of any crystal vials, which I don't think we're actually going to need. So, that being the case, the thing of note is crystal vials we're going to need to buy, I don't know, I'm just going to buy 500 because I'm always going to be using these things, so it doesn't really matter all that much. So, that being the case, let's just jump into this and have a look at our flasks of winds, which we're going to be crafting 164 of those, and hopefully we can get some procs off it. Now, of course, this is going to take a little while in order to actually craft these different types of flasks, and we've already got our first proc of an additional one, so whatever the flask of wind is worth, 689 gold, we've just gained 689 gold just by that proc. So that being the case, that gives us more materials to make our next batch of Vial of the Sands by doing that. And what I'm actually going to be doing is I've actually gone into my crafting reports for this, and if we go into winds, if we go over to the flask of winds, I've actually changed the string, and the string is just near on the same, it's just something bog standard, but I've added in timesing it by 0.8, which means that it's going to account, so when you're actually crafting this, it will actually account for the proc rate. This is only if you're an elixir master for the flask of winds, of course, and then respectively for the true gold for my transmutation master, I've done the exact same for that. So then the Vial of the Sound's cost will actually come up on our screen and actually show us a profit instead of a negative. So now we can actually craft this mount fairly cheaply. Now it will actually take into account how much gold it's actually going to be worth, and we actually procced 5 potions of the Flask of Winds while I was talking, and basically it just accounts for the proc chance and says if you do have pretty much your elixir master, you're going to be making a profit on these things because of the proc chance that's added in. So for obvious reasons that makes sense. Now I've done the same thing with the albino cavefish. I did a bit of testing and I did a lot of these guys, and what I've actually found is that the albino cavefish or the deep stone oil is actually at a 50% proc chance. So I've just edited it and gone with times by 0.5. So the DB market dash crafting dash vendor buy dash convert, basically it's mainly for the crafting. You could simplify this and actually make take into account just the crafting cost for it if you really wanted to, but I didn't really see that much of any change at all when it came to just using the 0.5 times the entire thing. So at the end of the day it just worked, and as long as it does the job I'm not too concerned. So it's roughly around about a 50% chance for the deep stone oil. When it comes to the Flask of Winds and the Flask of Titanic Strength, it's roughly around about 15 to 20%, which I've just gone with the 20% because I found that that was more likely to happen when I was doing my regular crafts. If you do want to actually change it, obviously just change it accordingly to yourself, depending on what value you want to go with. Do you want to go with a safe bet, or do you want to go with a little bit more of a risky bet, which is my one. And that one is pretty much for the true gold. That is also for the 2 flasks, and therefore I can then account for that and see if it's worth it to craft the Vial of the Sands mount. Now of course, yes, it is worth crafting the Vial of the Sands because we're farming to craft but we're also getting more than enough potions to craft our next one. So essentially we could actually get a free Vial of the Sands for every 5 Vial of the Sands we actually craft. So that is what was the entire idea for this, so I don't actually waste a load of gold when I'm doing my certain crafts, so to speak. So that being the case, pretty damn chuffed with the way things are going thus far. And other than that, let's just pause for the moment while we finish up our flask creation. And now just jumping over to our alchemist. Obviously we just procced for our transmute master, and this is my other shaman who is my alchemist for transmutations. Now he's doing the true gold crafts at this moment in time, and obviously he's getting quite a lot of procs. We just got 2 more procs of true gold. Now true gold is worth roughly around about 884 gold on my realm, so we've essentially been making a lot more. Obviously we need quite a lot of true gold, hence why all of the materials that we've gathered is already sourced, and overall is actually doing quite well. I'm pretty damn happy on the way things are going thus far, and yeah, we've got 171 more to craft in order to make our Vial of the Sands, and with all of those additional procs we can then work out, once we've sent it over to our other alchemist who is already in Oldham to craft our 20 Vial of the Sands mounts, we can then see how much more gold we actually got by proccing those different extra materials, and how many more Vial of the Sands can we actually craft with crafting like 20 of these by batching, because I'm a proprietor of the batching method, because I find it so much easier than just crafting one, then farming another one, then crafting it and then selling it. I like to have a load of them on the auction house, and I wanted to see how well the actual procs actually do work when it comes to the transmutation master and the elixir master overall. And we've just gained a load more procs, as you can probably see over here in the corner, and I'm trying to work out with my finger all of that stuff. So we've just procced another 2, and so yeah, we're just definitely just printing some gold right here. And with that simple edit in the TSM setup, we can actually do all that. Obviously, like I stated before, we can make that more efficient if we just used crafting as well. So that being the case, let's just finish up these transmutes, send them over, and we can then just crack on with our actual craft of the Vial of the Sands. Okay, so we've finished our transmutes and all of our crafts. Let's just actually pull in all of this stuff that we actually have remaining from all of this. So that being the case, let's just clean up our bag quickly. We currently have 174 of the Flask of Titanic Strength. We also have 202 a Flask of Winds. The Deepstone Oil, obviously I sent over Yamo 80 of those, so we need to account for that as well. But definitely we have a lot of Deepstone Oil, more than enough. And we also have 293 true gold from our craft and a load of remaining reagents. So that being the case, let's just jump over to our innkeeper and move this over here, because we are definitely going to be needing our different types of materials. Obviously I've been working on the rep to actually get it down to its bare minimum, which is 4,500 gold for the Pyrium laced crystal vial, and the Sands of Time is 2,700 gold for that. So it's actually going to cost us less than 600,000 gold to actually craft all of this stuff. So in order to make sure that we have all of our stuff for this, we're just going to go to Vial of the Sands, and we're going to need, what we're going to do is, because we're crafting 20 of these, we need 20 Pyrium laced vials, so 20 of those. So we've got those right there. That's going to cost us a nice chunk. The next thing of note is we're going to need Sands of Time. You need 8 for one craft, so times that by 10, that's 80. Then times it by 2, because we're making 20, which is 160 of those. So 160 of the Sands of Time, which is going to cost us 432,000 gold. 432,000 gold. That's a lot of gold just for all of this stuff. But we now have all of this stuff, and we actually saved some gold because of our rep bonus. Now, if I just send over to Giblet the 12,000 Zathrash already had on when we first started, we actually did a savings of 78,000 gold for the Vial of the Sands craft. Just by getting our rep up, we've actually saved ourselves some gold. So we're just going to send that over right there because we don't need it now. And that's sent back over to Giblet, which should hopefully bring him close to, well, it should actually bring him to 300,000 gold in our bags, plus 20 Vial of the Sands, which we're about to craft. And then we can see how many of the things we've got left over in order to craft any more of that stuff. So I'm pretty damn chuffed on the way things are going at this moment in time. Like 20 of these things, 20 Vial of the Sands. Yeah, I wanted to like completely go crazy with this and just see how much gold we could actually make by just crafting 20, because obviously selling 10 of these things is going to make us a lot of gold, and now scaling that to a healthy, stupid amount, we can actually craft quite a lot. We have 20 of these things valued at 42,000 gold a piece for these guys. Now, the things that are left over from our craft for our actual thing is we actually have Flask of Winds. We've actually got 40 remaining from our craft. 42, sorry. 42 Flask of Winds. We have 14 Flasks of Titanic Strength left over. This is all from the procs, and we have 101 Deepstone Oil left over, along with 53 True Gold. So pretty much with the True Gold, we've got enough True Gold to craft 4 more mounts. We have, with our Flask of Winds, we have enough to actually divide that by 8, and then that we have enough to craft 5, so theoretically we can craft 4, and we've definitely got more than enough Deepstone Oil with looking at that to craft, and we have with the Deepstone Oil enough to craft 12, along with Flask of Titanic Strength, which did not proc all that much, but we have 14 of those, and that is enough to craft 1. It needed to proc 2 more, and then we could have crafted that. But I've definitely proven that having the actual procs is going to save us gold, because we don't have to worry about how much True Gold. Look how much price the True Gold's actually going to cost us. It's going to cost us 884 gold for pretty much doing that. So we've actually saved ourselves some gold overall just by changing up how we're actually crafting this, using the Elixir Master and the Transmutation Master in order to increase the amount of mounts that we can actually craft for less of a cost. So that being the case, let's send over these Vial of the Sands towards Giblet. So we'll just go into mounts, and we'll just go to farm crafted mounts, and we'll just send those over to Giblet. And that is all of them right there. So that being the case, let's just jump over to our character and evaluate all of this stuff. So let's just do that. Okay, so we're back onto our character. We're just going to grab our Vial of the Sands. We should also just pull in all of our extra additional gold. So we've got 311,545 gold in our bags, along with 20 of the Vial of the Sands in our bags. And now, with no other things in this bag, we can actually value this at 840,000 gold of Vial of the Sands in our bags, which is like a stupid amount of gold overall. Now, I will be posting a little short mini PDF for just crafting the Vial of the Sands with those transmutates, so then you can go into like your crafting reports and adjust it for the procs, and then overall we can then just, and then you guys can actually craft the Vial of Sands for a bit cheaper, and just follow the little guide overall. Now make any adjustments you do want. If it is the 20% and you want to go with the 20%, go with that. If you want to go with the 15%, go with that. Depends on how much you feel comfortable with. Now aside from that, that is pretty much all I have to say for the day. I'm obviously going to be posting these not all at once because that would just be completely stupid. But we do have quite a lot of these things on the auction house. Now last and finally, for all of you of my silver and gold Patreons who have actually got access towards the 5 Bullet Sunday, which is when I do 5 points for the week, I've actually done, instead of the 5 Bullet Sunday, I've done a full in-depth guide on all of the procs for pretty much every single crafted mount and how to craft them super cheap. So if you want, that is there for you in the 5 Bullet Sunday. Just wanted to make that one aware to you guys. Now aside from all of that guys, have an awesome rest of the day and I shall see you in the next video, which will be tomorrow.